like this. There you go. A little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Angles skills? No, that's okay. Probably the younger. Oh, get up to me. I'll take the paper.
Hi, Mike.
Here's come together, siblings. Hey, where's Lori? Lori's coming. All the family over here to this side, please. Come on in. We have some chairs. You can sit. Family over here. Come on, hurry up, guys. Lori,
Awesome.
Sit down. Lori, sit down. Eric. And where else?
Sorry, Eric.
Sorry.
Never done that before.
Is everybody out of the party?
So we can wish Christy go back. Oh, you did? Yeah, these can sit down no, they're all the same. It's my honor to say a few words here today. First, I would like to acknowledge, give respect to, and condolences to the Thorne family. Cherie, Krista, Lori, Scott, Hugh, Eric. Yes. I'd also like to acknowledge two of Doug's personal surfing buddies, partners from the original 1936 Santa Cruz Surf Club, Harry Mayo. Yeah. Bob Rittenhouse. Put it up. This statue represents the past, the present, and future surfers. Today, the statue is Doug Thorne. A family man, a dear friend, and a great surfing buddy. Doug was the real deal, an avid surfer. He loved Santa Cruz. He loved Santa Cruz surfers. He loved the Santa Cruz surfing culture. Flat out. Doug made our lives better. Yes. He will truly be missed. Thank you, Doug. 2 weeks ago, Doug asked Kim Stoner to say a few words here today. Kim?
Thank you, Bob. For those that don't, my name is Kim Stoner. I'm a board member of the Preservation Society too. And as Cherie knows, when I visited Doug the last time in the hospital, he asked me to say something out here. Doug asked me to say something, and I know what he wants me to talk about. I'm going to share a neat little story. But before I do that, I just want to acknowledge all the city and county officials that are here. We have the mayor, the vice mayor. We have 4 past mayors here. Could you all raise your hands that had a connection with Doug? We have Nina and Marla from the Museum of Art and History here. Where are you? Raise your hand. And there's a lot of other, Martine Bernal, the city manager. We have a lot of people here that had a connection with Doug, and I just want to acknowledge them all. Thank you for coming. Now what I'd like to share is interesting because it occurred right here at this location, right where we're all at right now. The year was 1969. I was a senior at Santa Cruz High School. and myself and 3 of my surfing friends, we decided that we were going to go surfing that day at lunch because the swell was pumping out here. It was about 4 foot. There was no bike path yet. There was no sidewalk anywhere on West Coast. So we parked both our Volkswagens here, took our longboards, no leashes in those days, and our minimal rubber, we had no wetsuits on our legs, and went down the cliff, and we're out here surfing for maybe 45 minutes. And all of a sudden we hear this, "Get back to class!" And we look up on the cliff, and it's Doug Thorne, and he's like this, and his car is parked right next to our 2 Volkswagens. And we're all looking at each other, what are we going to do, right? There's nobody else out in the water that day. It had rained that morning, and it cleared up, and there was a light breeze, and the waves were green, and they were crispy as about 4 foot. So we got scared, so we all paddled down to the cove by the Dream Inn. My 3 friends were Chris Carey, Mike Tonini, and Ken Schofield. Ken Schofield's cousin had Schofield surfboards. But anyway, we were down there in the cove, and we were shivering because it was cold. There wasn't much rubber. Well, you think it's time now we could go back to our cars and not get in trouble? So we came up Beach Hill, walked out West Cliff, and it was horrible because your feet were numb, and you're stepping on all the little rocks. There's no path. It was fine. That was a Monday. So the next day we went back to Santa Cruz High. Within 10 minutes, all 4 of us were called into Howard Rhine's office, who was the vice principal. And then there's Doug sitting there like this. He's kind of smirking at us, you know. And so Ryan goes, "Well, you guys, you know, you're not supposed to do this." And we had gotten away with it once before, but the reason we did is because we were lucky, right? And the reason they caught us is because all of us only went to school 4 periods, and we had political science was our 4th class after lunch, and then we'd take off and go surfing. Well, we just decided to go early that day. And somebody had finked on us, but Doug had caught us. So they said, "Well, you guys are going to do detention the next 4 days after school." So we had to leave school, then come back for the detention, which wasn't so bad. But he gave us detention with Al Weimers, who was a swim coach and a surfer. So when we reported to Al Weimer's class, he goes, "Okay, Stoner, you're in that corner. Carey, you're in that corner. Tonini, you're over there. Schofield, you're over there." And he goes, "Don't even think about climbing out the windows," because we were in the basement. There was louvered windows. And then he gave us a little smirk because he was a surfer. And I wanted to share that because Doug caught many surfers, probably before us, and I know afterwards, cutting out of school. And as Cherie told me, "No, Kim, he just went out to check the surf that day. He went out every day." It didn't matter whether he was at Santa Cruz High School or Harbor or Soquel, he would have been checking out the hook. You know, so we just happened to get caught that day. I just wanted to share that story. And at this time, Jeff, would you like to say something? Jeffrey Dunn? Yeah.
Stay here. We're fine. I'll be quick here. My name is Jeff Dunn. I was blessed to grow up with the Thorne family, with Doug's children, at Soquel High. Some of my greatest friends. Love all of you. Cherie's been a lifelong friend. Our families have been tight for years. So I have this long history, tight history with the family. I love you all, and I know what a loss it is for you. It's a loss for us. It's a loss for the community. I wanted to talk about a few of his qualities that I always admired. One of the great discoveries I made when I first got my motorcycle license was that if I went down to Pleasure Point, I might discover Doug down there, and he always had a can of beer. And I noticed it was, not really high quality beer. It was Hams or Regal Select, right?
Whatever's on sale.
Whatever was on sale. But you know what Doug told me? He liked cold beer, and so whatever was cold enough for him, he'd have it after he'd get out of the surf. And I saw in him his absolute pure enjoyment of life and the ocean. He always enjoyed his life, and that enjoyment he gave back to people. Whenever he saw someone, he made you feel good and respected. The grandkids and great-grandkids. Like your family, I've had a lot of generations here, okay? And a lot of times the grandkids and great-grandkids get forgotten. To me, it's a huge loss for you. It's a link to the past. It's a link to your family's roots. All I will tell you is He will keep coming back and coming back to you. He will be with you the rest of your lives. I say that to you, my brothers and sisters, too, because he will. I have felt him back now, and I've needed his strength. The last thing I want to say is Doug and I went through one of our rounds of cancer treatment together. And I'm telling you, the man was as tough as they come, as giving as they come, as loving as they come. He came into the chemo room while I was in there, and I didn't have the brightest look on life at that time. And he came in and he said, Jeff, you need to be strong for your family. You've got a lot to live for. Doug lived every day like that. That was his mantra. He loved this family, all of you, fiercely. He loved this community. Look out here today at this glorious day. He's shining on us now. I'm going to think about him every time I see the ocean for the rest of my life. I will. So I want to remember that aloha spirit of his, which he truly embodied, not intellectually, but he lived it every day. Doug Thorne was one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life. He was a father figure to me since the time I was a teenager. Quite frankly, he was better to me than my own father was, and I will never forget that beauty and love he showed me, my family, all of you, all of us, this community, the surfing community. So, mahalo to Doug.
Thanks, Tim. And in closing, I'd just like to say that, Doug, you're up there surfing in the heavens.
Yep.
You're sailing your boat up there in the heavens. I feel fortunate to have known you and sailed with you and surfed with you. Mahalo.
Doug was a lucky man to have all of you in his ohana. Barney?
I've got a little presentation for family members for you to take this home. And please, if anybody gets a chance today, Jeff Dunn wrote a wonderful article that's published today in the Santa Cruz Sentinel about Doug Thorne. Make sure you get a copy of it today. You read about Doug, you'll understand a little bit more why we're here and what we're doing today to honor Doug. So please get a copy. I'm going to get several. Might even frame one. And this is for family members.
Thank you, sir. So we'll just end it now.
You betcha. You betcha. Here we go.
Again, thank you all for coming. It's all about Doug. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you to Santa Cruz. It'll be in our hearts forever. Let's go, kids.
Thank you.
No, I know. But when he got away with it once, I know. It was part of his job. I just wanted to share something. And it's true, too.
I'm a son-in-law. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, this is my husband, Scott.
Hi, Scott. No.
Kim. Yeah.
Happy to.
Ryan's son.
All right, Ryan. Yeah, I did.
This is my son, Ryan.
Yeah, you're right. We met it. Did we meet at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time
Yeah.
Jeff and I came to visit him. Yeah. We had him laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, the three of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we're happy to do this.
All right. Oh, thank you.
We'll see you again.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
My son,
Kim, I just wanted to tell you, I'm not
I need to get a board going.
Come talk to me.
He demanded Mom go down.
Okay, who's this one?
2.5-pound barbells.
This is my girlfriend.
And he started. He knew he had to get strong to get out of bed, or it was over. And he-
Oh my God.
Go. Round third and get home. Which one? Oh, cool. Lori and Mike. That was left.
Yeah, we want to leave it all the way down. All the way down. But straighten it out. Hi, Doug. Angle like this. There you go. A little bit more. Yeah. Angle skills. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, pull it this way just a little bit. Just no, you're fine. Yeah, there you go. That way a little John. No. Just push that. Hi, Olivia.
3 years old.
Yeah, we want to leave it all the way down. All the way down. But straighten it out.